former coach lives 3 doors down and gave him an opportunity to switch positions. No other guy can be out of the NFL for 6 years, switch position, I'm not talking about go from corner to safety.
Yep.
I'm not talking about going from offensive tackle to offensive guard.
Yep.
I'm not talking about going to linebacker, because those are very similar. He going from a quarterback to a tight end. When he had an opportunity in teams like, would you like to move? Nope, that's not where I am right now. I'm above that. I'm Tim Tebow. I'm a quarterback. Skip, you know what it is. Let's be all the way 100. Let's keep it 100, Skip. And it's going to rub guys wrong in the locker room. It's already seemed to rub some of the coaches wrong because they know they don't deserve this chance. And Tim Tebow has never run a route. Tim Tebow has never played the position, never caught a ball, never blocked anybody. And now he thinks he can do it at the highest level. Greg McElroy is absolutely correct that this is what it's going to turn into. I mean, it turned into that in Denver. It turned into that in New York. So what you think is going to be in his hometown? He's from Jacksonville. He's looked at as a god in that area. Skip, it's no good. I agree with Greg McElroy. It's absolutely correct.
My turn. It is happening again. History is repeating itself for me. In 2011, I was on ESPN on a show that airs about the same time as this one, and we had just changed the format to all debate. For 2 hours, it was unheard of. We're going to do debate segments for 2 straight hours. And into our laps fell this kid, Tebow. And I had already gone on the record in 2010, as I've told you many times, and I said before he was drafted, yeah, I'd take him at the bottom of the first round, and if you'll run his college offense, the read option, let him ride and decide, he will win football games. He won't make you a Pro Bowl, but he will win football games for you. And I was exactly right. But what happened in 2011, we had a parade of ex-NFL stars. Not sure, well, one was in the Hall of Fame, but there was a parade of Shannon Sharp-type players who would come in every day, and I'd usually take 2-on-1 just segment after segment after debate. And they would try to tell me that I was, as Chris Carter once told me, you're riding the wrong horse. And I'd say, nope, you're missing the point. And all Tebow did when he finally got that chance, when your Broncos fell to 1-4 with Kyle Orton at the helm, was he started to win football games late and close, because in the last 5 minutes of all those games that he played that year, he got deadly accurate and led the league in QBR in the last 5 minutes of those games. He kept pulling them out of the fire miraculously, because he might be off target for much of the game, and all of a sudden he would be deadly on target late in the game.
Skip, I'm not giving you credit. Skip, I'm not giving you credit for pulling my hand out the fire when you're the one that stuck my hand in the fire to begin with. So you get no credit for that.
He brought them back to win the AFC West. You know better than anybody how difficult that is to do when you start 1-4.
Yes, it is.
It's virtually impossible. Yes. And he pulled that off by pulling out of the fire game after game after game. Do I have to start remembering all the games starting with Miami and Chicago and at Minnesota?
Can I ask you a question, Skip? But how great must your defense be when your offense does nothing for 55 minutes and you have to keep the game close so he can do what he does in the fourth quarter?
Why didn't the defense play for Kyle Orton? Because he's milquetoast. He's not inspirational. Tebow became the driving force. He became the center of the NFL universe. And here became the point. He became a distraction for the Broncos because he was a media circus on a daily basis, because he wore his religion on his sleeve. And many members of the media are not religious and are skeptical, and made it a bigger and bigger story that he does talk about his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ after games.
I mean, look here. If you can play football, I don't care. I'll come get you out to church, or you don't have to go to church. All I want you to do is be able to help me win, because that's why we're there. We're there to win football games. So your religion doesn't have anything to do with me.
Okay, fine. But it had a lot to do with a lot of the media overreaction to Tim Tebow, because they'd never seen anything quite like that. Well, I'd never seen anything quite like what he did to the Pittsburgh Steelers in that playoff game when he threw for 316 yards. If we could see it just one more time, I promise this is the last time.
No, you ain't
I promise. Overtime against Roethlisberger and company. It's Tebow. He actually, he threw a pass, and it was this perfect spiral. Hit Demaryius right in the hands. What? How did he do that? And he's going, and he's going, and he's gone. And the game is over, and Tebow has upset the Pittsburgh Steelers and moves on to play the Patriots the next week in the playoffs. He did that.
Right.
You can't take it away.
Right.
Which brings me back to Greg McElroy. I know Greg a little bit from my days at ESPN, and I do like him. As he said, Tebow's a good dude. I think Greg's a good dude. Mm-hmm. But I cannot tell you how much I dislike what he said about Tebow, because you want to talk about taking something out of context.
What do you think?
Yes, he was his teammate with the Jets that next year. And I know because I heard this straight from Tebow's lips. Tebow had a choice between Rex Ryan or going home to Jacksonville to play for a really bad Jags team at that point. But Rex called him, according to Tebow, and I don't think Tebow's a liar, and Rex told him, he whispered sweet nothings in his ear, and Tebow thought that he virtually promised him the quarterback job, because remember, they were struggling with Mark Sanchez, right? Mr. Butt Fumble at that point. Sanchez, as he was first called by Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay? And Tebow said, I at least had been promised a 50-50 shot at winning the job. And he got a 0% shot at winning the job. He's not a great practice player. For whatever reason, he never got a chance to play quarterback that year in New York. And he did pick New York because it's a bigger stage with a better team, because they were pretty good. Mm-hmm. They had a chance to go compete for a Super Bowl. And it became a disaster because what didn't happen? Well, Tebow played very little that year. He started exactly 0 games at quarterback.
Which is more than what he should have started.
What did he end up throwing? He threw 8 total passes that year. He was 6 of 8 for 39 yards. He played 73 offensive snaps as a gadget guy. That's 7% of the snaps. He played 1 snap as a tight end. So I don't know what McElroy is. He's talking about practice, I guess.
No.
Here's the point about tight end. He says the Jets tried switching him to tight end. He didn't want to be a tight end because he was a starting quarterback who had lifted a team to the playoffs and won a playoff game just the year before. He was devastated because he thought Rex Ryan lied to him and went back on his word. So if you suddenly in midstream at like week 8 or 9, you say, hey, Tim, I think it's not working out. You got to try tight end. What do you think Tim Tebow's going to say? No, his heart wasn't in it.
But now his heart is.
Well, again, you're missing the point. I've told you this 1,000 times, and this is 1,001. He will not play tight end, not traditional Hall of Fame Shannon Sharp tight end. The blueprint was established by Urban Meyer when Tim was a freshman. Just go look at the tape of what happened with Chris Leak as the starting
why do you say tight end? Why not just say we're bringing him in as a positionless player? Why say tight end? Why not say quarterback?
Okay, Urban's just trying to get rid of the media hubbub. He's just trying to dismiss it so that there's no conjecture about, is he going to take snaps away from the guy you picked #1 overall, Trevor Lawrence, the new franchise quarterback?
But I wonder
he will take a few snaps.
I wonder why all the neighbors are concerned and want to come by my house every day when I get a pet lion. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when you bring Tim Tebow in, a guy that has not played in 6 years? You know what? Mike Dicker said something the other day. He says, well, these tight ends in today's game, they don't block anybody. Well, what about catch the football? Hey, Jim, can you cue that tape? This is my last time I'm going to show it. No, I'm lying. I'm going to show it every time they talk about Tim Tebow as a tight end. Now, this is what a tight end needs to do. Don't duck.
Okay.
Look, this is what I know. And all my years of being on the football field, if they throw something that's part of the football, you might want to catch it.
Well, before he even got his head around it was coming, he hadn't even gotten around, and the DB got a hand on the ball and deflected it.
That's my point. Okay. You got to get your head around. That's part about being tight end.
All right. I will bet you that next year he will catch very few passes because he will be used as an H-back. I've told you this 1,000 times. Now it's 1,002 times. H-back in the backfield. Maybe they'll wildcat him occasionally, direct snap it to him. They'll bulldoze him on any 3rd and short, 4th and short, or goal line situation. Any 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, because if you give him the ball, he can jump and throw the ball because he can be deadly accurate on a touchdown pass in a big game in a big moment.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You keep saying that one game. Mark Sanchez took a team to the AFC Championship game 2 consecutive years. Beat Peyton Manning, beat Tom Brady.
First 2 years,
And all of a sudden, everybody, he was terrible. But all you do is heap praise on Tim Tebow for winning one game. And that guy beat Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
he was devastated that his dream got taken away from him.
It didn't.
He's back now
Skip,
because his coach, do you remember what his coach said